everyone. I'm so excited to be sharing with you my conversation with Leah Penniman, founder of Soulfire Farm, a community farm committed to ending racism and injustice in the food system. Well, Leah, thank you so much for coming and or sitting down with us today. I really appreciate your time. I've been a follower of yours and Soulfire Farm for years now, and watching the work that you've done has been so inspiring. Not just the fact that you understand the land so much, but especially for the purposes that you farm the land.
So I am right now sitting in the home that we built between 2006 and 2010 from the very wood and clay and straw from this land of Soulfire Farm. So our family has been living and breathing and working here since then. 10 years of being here full time, plus another 4 years of building up the infrastructure, because when we found the land and the land found us, it was, no septic, no electricity, no internet, no home, no, degraded soils, all needed to be built up and really invested in. So this is our life work, our life project. It's where we are now, and it's where I hope you'll see me if we talk again or in 20 or 40 years.
I'm sure. How are food and race related?
Absolutely. I think it's so important to really break down what we're talking about when we say end racism and injustice in the food system, because a lot of folks will say, well, what do food and race have to do with each other? Without understanding that really, truly, like racism and white supremacy are built into the DNA of the U.S. food system. So, taking a step back a little bit to how this came about, my partner, Jonah, and I were living in the south end of Albany, which is a neighborhood that the government would call food desert because it's high poverty and there aren't any grocery stores. The term I've learned from my mentor, Karen Washington, that's more appropriate is food apartheid, because there is nothing natural about an area where people cannot access fresh, healthy, culturally appropriate, affordable food. The reason that whole area exists is because of a history of housing discrimination, redlining, divestment, gentrification, and many other forces of racial oppression, right? So labor is also a really big issue. Again, massive racial disparities. If you look at Department of Labor stats, being a farm manager and owner is one of the whitest professions in the United States. But being a farm laborer, like actually doing the work, the backbreaking work, that is one of the brownest professions. It's 85% Latinx Hispanic folks who are doing that work. And it impacts the consumer too, because if you are Black or brown, you are much more likely to experience hunger, to experience diabetes, cancer, heart disease, kidney failure, all of these illnesses that are related to only having access to these corporate foods and not our ancestral foods. As my wonderful teenage daughter Nashima says, the food system is everything it takes to get sunshine onto your plate. And so land, labor, food, and all those points along the system have racial disparity, and we have to. And finally, I hope that we are willing to just look that painful reality in the face and start to heal and repair as a society.
And having good nutrition allows people to thrive, right? So it's the baseline of everything as far as our ability to accomplish anything.
It's so true. And I'm really glad you brought that up, because I always think about, if I'm not feeling well, if I'm not nourished, it's not like I then want to go to my town council meeting and advocate, for a policy change. It's not like I then want to start a farm. So there's a way that our well-being is very, very connected to our capacity to engage in civic life and to make the world that we want to see.
The word is sustainability, right? But I don't think that people having the idea of what sustainability, how far out that goes. Sustainability is forever, right? Sustainability means that it's like we just keep going. It's not it's not ending with there's no end to it.
And what I want to add to that is that in our traditional cosmology, we don't actually see the earth as this natural resource to be exploited or as this environment that we happen to find ourselves inside of. The earth is actually an older sibling. We are the youngest siblings in creation. The plants, the mushrooms, the trees, the birds, they're older than us. They were here first. And so we have a deference and a respect like a younger sibling would have to understand what the older sibling's wisdom is to bring to bear, right? And so that is not, let me tell you, the way, in any way that our society is structured right now. It's very human-centered. It's very exploitative of the earth.
Okay, so you're in the soil. You live, like what you do is so incredible. You actually have a relationship with the birds and the pollinators and the soil and everything that, nourishes the food that we eat, that gives life to it. If you step away, if I'm so far away from the soil, if I am just like, I'm the guy who goes to the grocery store and takes my beautiful kale and sticks it right into a plastic bag and then ties it up and puts it inside another bag and puts it in my car and drives it home and then lets it rot inside of my refrigerator because I forgot I had it. Like, what? What mentality, how can we have a different perspective from there? How can we, if we're that person, how do we gain a different perspective about the food and the system that we live off of? What's the one thing that we can do to look at this differently?
Well, here's the thing. I think when folks underappreciate food, it's often because they don't have relationship. So there's some really interesting work out there that David Sobel did around ecophobia. And it was transformative for me as an educator because he was saying that actually when you tell a young person all about the rainforest being destroyed and climate change and ozone layer and stuff, and then track them until they're a grown-up, the kids who get that education are actually not likely to have pro-environmental behaviors. The only thing that determines whether an adult will have pro-environmental behaviors is whether they had an opportunity to fall in love with the natural world as a young person. And additionally, for bonus, the opportunity to see that their actions make a difference. So even, those things that are kind of trite, like picking up trash or saving baby turtles, whatever, like to see like cause effect. Did we have the opportunity to get really intimate with what's involved with the food? Did we ever try to grow it ourselves and see the labor involved? Have we ever tried to spend a day laboring on a farm the way a farm worker would? And a day is 12 to 14 hours, by the way, not 6 to 8 hours, right? To see what that's really like and then imagine. And so I think we develop our caring through empathy, which means shared experience. And so I really encourage people, if all of this is like totally new, like I've never even grown anything, I don't even know anyone who speaks Spanish, so like figure out how to give yourself some experiences that actually create that heart connection to these issues, because when we act from that place, it's really a sustainable acting. We're not being performative because like Black Lives Matter is the thing right now, or peer pressure. We're doing it because we really see and care. I hope that we really figure out how to not just pay lip service to the idea of essential worker as a farmer, but really see farmers as essential lives, like essential human lives. And then in terms of food, like every single person deserves healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate, fresh, delicious food, in their neighborhoods, in their homes.
How would you advise people? What advice would you give people if they wanted to get involved?
Well, the good news about a really complex problem is that there are lots of points of intersection and lots of ways to help, right? So, for example, there's a really neat project done by the Northeast Farmers of Color Land Trust called the Reparations Map. And you can go online either to Soulfire's website or NEFOC's website, check it out. And it's got projects led by Black, Indigenous, and people of color all around the country working on food and land. And those projects have a list of what they need. So they might need technical assistance, money, a tractor, 40 acres, but you can look and find a project near you and just kick them something that you have, right? And then you're supporting a local Frontlines-led project.
And how can people support you at Soulfire Farm?
Well, we would love support at Soulfire Farm because we certainly are in over our heads with what we're trying to do. If you have not read our book, Farming While Black, Soulfire Farm's Practical Guide to Liberation on Land, definitely get a copy of the book because you can learn way more about this. And you can also sign up to donate or volunteer on our website at soulfirefarm.org or sign up for a program. And we have a really exciting campaign going on right now because we have outgrown. Oh, by the way, we have thousands of people come to our programs every year, and it's all in this house, which is wild. So the county has let us know that we need to upgrade our facilities if we want to keep running this public enterprise, right? So we need to build some stuff. So we have a really cool campaign going on right now to raise some money to build some more beautiful natural solar structures so that the next generation of Black farmers has a place to come and learn.
I'm overwhelmed by all of your all the work that you're doing. It's on the deepest level. Food is in all of our the most important thing for all of us for our well-being, and thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Well, thank you. It's been an absolute joy to talk with you, and I really appreciate your authenticity and openness to all of this really challenging topic. And I look forward to sharing this with my community as well.
Thank you.